Everybody, in the previous videos in the series, we finished the TT01 Type E chassis. Today we're going to work on steps that are specific to the Fat Fox build here. And one of the first things we need to do is to install the rear bumper. So let's get started. You need to find these nuts and these two screws. And they're in a separate screw bag by themselves. It has a lot of small components in there. And it's going to be specific to the body parts. Okay, so let me adjust the lighting here a little bit. First thing we need to do is to drop two of these nuts. It's turned this way. Down into that hole right there. So that it's captured. Okay, just like that. I'm going to just go ahead and push this down a little bit. Maybe turn it. Need it seated all the way down. Okay. Okay, that's probably close enough. Let's see if it'll work. All right, the bumper is turned this way and indexes into that right there, like so. And now we need to put two screws through there. Okay, I got one, I got two. Okay. Okay. And now we need to put this onto these right there. Let's see if we can line up for you. We're going to put the screw here and on the opposite side. Let's see. And it's with two tapping screws. Okay, and it's going to be these two tapping screws. These are only two in there that look the same as those right there. One goes on this side. And the other one goes on this side. And just let me give both of them an extra quarter turn. Okay, and there we go. Now the chassis is complete. Let me move that out of the way. Before we go forward, we need to make sure we're ready for cutting, putting it together, and also painting the chassis kit. If you haven't already, if you plan on painting this according to the box, same as the real truck, you need to go out and get all these colors. And I've already done so. I'm going to show you, and probably in the next video when we start painting. So if you haven't already, there's a guide here to tell you what colors you're going to need. So it's good if you want to order those ahead. And we've already did the wheels, we did the transponder mount already. If you are building this body for a TT02 chassis, you're going to need to remove the motor shroud and relocate the on-off switch. But we're not doing that. Okay. So step 2, tells us we need to cut out the body, the cab, the coupler, and the rear fenders, and also the back panel. I'm going to be using 2 scissors. I have a straight Lexan scissor, curved one, and I'm also going to use a hobby knife for cutting this out. And I'll use it according to, depending on the situation, which I think would be probably the easiest to use. The first thing I did, and I've done this already, was to use dish soap and warm water and cleaned out the inside of the body. So that's ready to go. And that's a very important step. And if you notice here, we need to drill these holes. There is 2mm holes, 3mm holes, 6mm, but I'm not going to drill these 2 because that's for the antenna. There's a 4mm here. And if we look a little bit ahead, there's also 6mm holes for the body post. So I'm going to use a reamer for that. I'm kind of more used to using a reamer for a hole that size. But if you need to run out and get the bits, advice, you need to get those first as well before we get started. Because I suggest you drill these holes while the pieces are still all together, instead of cutting it and try to drill these holes. It's going to be quite difficult. So let me reset the camera and we'll start drilling. All right, according to the instructions, I need to drill out these 4 holes, these dimples here, to be 2mm. And let's go ahead and do that first. I have my 2mm drill bit here, and the dimples really help. Okay, there we go. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4. And next, we're going to drill 3mm holes, and therefore 3 screw holes in the coupler here, here, and there. So let me go ahead and change bits. Okay, here we go. So the dimples are here, right there, and it's right here. Hard to see on camera, but I can definitely feel and see them. Okay. You want to start off with a smaller pilot hole. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea. I can see it pretty clearly, so I'm just going to start going. Okay, and there you go. There's 3 holes and 4 holes there. Like I said, I'm going to skip the antenna holes, but they are asking for a hole for the side mirrors, and it's a 4mm hole right here and on the other side. Let me go ahead and do that. Let's go ahead and change bits. Okay, went ahead and grab one of the mirrors, and it's this plastic piece right here. So after I drilled the hole, I want to make sure it fits so I don't have to drill again. Okay. I think I grabbed the wrong one, but there you go. All right, that's big enough. Let's go ahead and drill this hole right here. Okay. Perfect. All right, so I have all of the holes drilled. It's time to start cutting. Okay, I think what I'm going to do first is rough cut so that I'm separating the back from the cab and from these 3 pieces right here, so that it's not so hard to move around with. So let me go ahead and do that. Okay, I got them in 3 pieces. Let me go ahead and mark where the cut line is, and then I'll start cutting. Okay. I think for this part, I'm going to use a hobby knife. Okay, I think I have a good score line all the way around except for right here, and I'll cut those by hand. But let's go ahead and get down into here and start peeling. Okay, cleaned it off with the scissors, and I cut the bottom part off camera. It was just too hard to hold it in front of me and see all the cut lines. So there we are. The back panel is done. Let's go ahead and work on the cab. Okay, if you're cutting this by hobby knife, you have to be careful. The Lexan plastic gets really thin right around here and here. So if you're putting a lot of pressure on the knife, it might go through the plastic and cut you. Actually, you probably saw that in the beginning of the last clip. And it went through right there and almost cut me. So you gotta be careful. And the material's super hard right along the roof line here. I mean, there's a lot of ridges here and molding right here. So it makes sense there's a lot of material up here. So I'm going to go ahead and use the scissors and just trim that off. And then also cut this out. Probably by scissors. I think it'll be a little easier for me by scissors. We'll see. Okay, I finished with the cab. Had to cut this off camera so I can see a little bit better. And I kind of cleaned it up all over where there's jagged edges. And the next step, actually, after I cut everything, I'm actually going to sand the edges a little bit, so I'm not going to worry about it too much. Let's go ahead and get the coupler and the two fenders off. Okay, there's the coupler. I'm going to cut the fenders off camera because I really need to get in here and reference the manual and get in through all these nooks and crannies. Alright, I've cut out the fenders. I used a combination of the knife on some of these longer straight edges and then scissors on the curves, some of the more difficult ridges right there. Still need to clean these up with a little bit of sandpaper, but they're done. Next time, in the next video, we're going to be masking the windows and start painting. Very excited. If you're enjoying this series, please give me a like and subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one.